Dear Worship Leader Series.
Hello everyone, I am Oluwakemi Ugwakeze and welcome to today's episode on Dear Worship Leader Series. Our topic today is the place and time of fellowship. Seek the Lord while it may be found. Call upon him while he is near. That's from the book of Isaiah chapter 55 and 6, the New King James translation. You can only call and talk to someone close to you. If not, you will be screaming and just be shouting. When your relationship with God is distant, you can only shout. But when you are in love with him, you are near and he is near, and just a whisper will do. Fellowship with the Holy Spirit is the desire, the hunger, and craving for a one-on-one time with him till it becomes a lifestyle. An effective meeting aims at achieving a certain result. It's not time for jokes, just to eat, but for a serious business. Imagine in a board meeting with your CEO or with other CEOs, how prepared, well-dressed, how well-behaved you will be. So why do we have to approach our fellowship with God casually? For there to be an effective meeting, there are 5 main things that must be taken care of, which I named 5 P's. 4 of these points are before the meeting, while the last P happens right in the meeting. So let's look at the 4 P's. The first P is people. This talks about who and who needs to be available in the course of this meeting. But in this case, it's you and the Holy Spirit. Intimacy is a personal decision and journey, not for a group of people. The second P is purpose. This talks about the agenda, what needs to be addressed. Our fellowship with the Holy Spirit must be intentional. Why do you want that fellowship? Is it for worship, for clarity, or you need a guidance? The third P is place. This talks about the venue for this meeting we're talking about. Such a meeting is not in an open place, but in a secret room with less or no noise and distractions. 2 identified places to fellowship with the Holy Spirit. Number 1, your heart, the mobile altar of worship. Not that you must go to a particular place to worship God effectively. Some people believe they cannot worship God until they go to a physical building, maybe church. Your heart is your first place of worship. You can be in church and not be in touch with the Father. Jesus said to the woman, "Believe me, the hour is coming when you will neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem worship the Father." That's the book of John chapter 4 and verse 21. And the second place for worship is a place that has been purposely designed for fellowship. Your closet, a room, anywhere you can stay to fellowship without distractions. And the 4th P is period. It talks about the time, when to start the meeting and the duration of this meeting. 2 suggestions of the right time for fellowship. Number 1 is scheduled time on your daily basis, on your day-to-day activities. Have a time you schedule that I'm going to have fellowship with God. And the second one is now. That is the Holy Spirit consciousness everywhere you are. That book of John says, chapter 4, but the hour is coming and now is when the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. Now, Holy Spirit consciousness. So the last P that happens right in an effective meeting is participation. Conversations, dialogue, discussions. Our fellowship with the Holy Spirit must be participatory. We don't just come, pray, and leave. We come with worship, with brokenness, and we also expect him to speak to us. And when we need clarity, we open our ears and our heart to receive from him. So when all these things are in place, 3 things are going to happen. 3 outcomes of any effective meeting. Number 1, the purpose is achieved. You're leaving the meeting place fulfilled and energized. We come out better than we entered the secret place when we go in for the fellowship with the Holy Spirit. Number 2, there is a new assignment, a new idea. Conception takes place. Actionable plans. Fellowship in the secret place with the Holy Spirit will never leave one the same. There must be a conception of light, of ideas to birth. And the third one is clarity. You become clearer of what God has designed you for God's purpose for your life. You will become clearer. The vision of God, the purpose of God for your life becomes clearer. And when you notice that there is a misalignment, you begin to align yourself. You may enter the place confused, but you are coming out with clarity. So in closing, dear worship ministers, this is a call and a charge to every one of us to be more intentional about fellowship with the Holy Spirit. And not only to be intentional, but also to have the consciousness of the Holy Spirit everywhere we find ourselves. So till we come in our next episode, remain planted, remain rooted, and remain connected. God bless you.